I always look at safety, security cluster first. We have Angie that's moved from a dismal failing basic education ministry, where we got the so-called 30%. That was an absolute disaster, no matter how she wants to paint a zebra. And she moves over now to the Minister of Defense. Now, when she was asked, what kind of knowledge and expertise does she have in defense? Her statement was that she doesn't need to have it because she's not going to go fight in the bush. She's not a soldier. Now, that statement on its own sent shivers down my spine, because if she did that to 30% basic education, is she going to say that she's only going to get a 30% hit rate on protecting this country? So that is the naiveness of the debate, where I told you before, I would prefer, not in all, but on the critical algorithm points of this country, defense, police, health, education, infrastructure, and finance. There we go. That we get people in that position, because that is what I call the critical backbone of a nation. So here we go, we take a Minister of Education that failed. She failed. And you take that person to defense, which currently is a failure. Now, why am I saying it? Because there are people in the defense force who talk to me. I come from there. It's not a good news story. We have soldiers currently deployed in foreign countries that are dying. And I'm telling you, one of them told me clear, and I won't tell you his name, it's my right, but a shocking story that they were deployed without the support of food, the support of air wing power, and the support of basic logistics. But we deployed them. So we need a strong minister that understands that scenario of when you deploy a military, you cannot deploy without support. Secondly, the military veterans of this country have sat for 30 years, also in a department that has failed. They're not being registered. The actual registration and recognition of military veterans in this country are not happening on the so-called database, and therefore they're not getting their benefits. So the reason I mentioned this, Chris, is because now you see the depth of knowledge that you should have to go and sort out the Department of Defense. The second one is maybe a story of hope. Senzo, the new Minister of Police, might not have police experience, but because he comes from other departments where he was a minister, where I might say he actually did well. His stint within the water sanitation prologue, the public works scenario, he is a worker. Now, I think that should give us hope that he's actually a person who thinks. They call him a thinker. He's actually a person that thinks it through, goes into the motion, and he's not scared of getting his hands dirty. So there's a glimmer of hope. The other one where I did say, though, there might be a little bit of hope within the Ministry of Defense is the Deputy Minister, interesting, is General Bantu Holomisa. So I hope that General Holomisa, who is a person that comes from the military, in the past within Transkei, he actually went to military academy. So he's not an appointed person that got a medal in the bush. He's actually a qualified person that understands defense. So the hope there is that Angie will lean on him to get some of that knowledge and experience to buffer that scenario of the ill knowledge that she had.